Alright, let's talk about property types, different types of properties that we deal with. The first one I want to talk about is condos. Okay, so you have different condominiums. Some of the condos are also falling under the townhouse category, but condominium is basically an apartment that you buy within a building, and you can make a lot of money on condos. I know agents that specialize in condominiums, and they specialize in one or two buildings, and they make a living. They make six figures income out of these buildings. So if you're focusing on condos, the first and foremost what you need to know is you need to learn your building that you're focusing on. You need to know all the numbers. You need to know how much rentals go for, studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. You need to know the layouts of each unit. You need to know the maintenance fees. You need to know the taxes. You need to know all the rules and regulations in the building. What kind of facilities are available. Is it a full service building? You need to know the doorman, you need to know all the doormans, the superintendent, you need to know what the management company is. So you got to study each and every condominium on its own and learn exactly what are the benefits, what are the pros and cons about each and every building that you're working on. And once you know all this information, you can obviously help a buyer or seller to determine exactly what the sell price should be or what the buying price should be, and specialize in that niche of real estate. So condominiums is normally an apartment building, could also be a gated community, it could also be townhouses. Alright, now there's all different sizes of units. You can sell a studio in the same building where you can sell a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom penthouse. So it all depends. You got to study each and every building. The information on each building is available for you on the MLS. So no matter which MLS you belong to, you can log in and figure out all the information you need, make some phone calls, and obviously go out there and preview some of those units so you know exactly what the layout looks like and you get a better feel. Also go make sure that you do a complete property tour, so you know where the gym is, if there's tennis courts, parking, everything. You need to know every single specific information about that building. Another property type is co-ops. Okay, everything I just said is true regarding co-ops as well. Selling co-ops is a little bit more difficult than selling condos because it's more difficult to finance them. But there are plenty of co-ops, specifically in our area here in Bergen County, Fort Lee, New Jersey. It's more co-ops than any other town that I know of. So if you want to specialize in co-ops, you got to learn the rules and regulations. You need to know also how to finance these deals, because if your buyer's coming out and they're not qualified for a co-op, you're going to have an issue. So make sure from day one when you're marketing co-ops that you know how to do that. Okay? Okay, 2 to 4 families. 2 family obviously is 2 units, 2 apartments. Normally it will be a 2 family with a basement, so you might have a bonus unit in the basement. Just for you to know, bonus units are not legal to rent out. Alright, so if there is a 2 family house with a finished basement that is rented out, before you're selling it, you need to vacate that basement unit. Make sure you know that, okay, when you take a listing, because you're not going to be able to get a CO for the buyer if there is any illegal units within that property. Okay, so 2 families are 2 apartments, 3 families are 3 apartments, and 4 families are 4 apartment complex. Alright, the majority, some of the 2 families will be a side by side. It looks like a townhouse, but it is a 2 family. So that is something that you need to know. And the majority of buyers that buy 2 families will be, it's 2 to 4 families. So 3 and 4 will be more investors. 2 family will be more of a user that wants to buy 1 unit and rent the other unit to help them pay the mortgage. All right. What you need to know about 2 to 4 families is you got to figure out what the taxes are. You need to know who pays utilities. Is it the tenant or the landlord that pays utilities? Is there 1 boiler or separate boilers? Same goes for hot water tanks. Is there 1 hot water tank or separate water tanks? You got to go to the basement, and you can see in the basement and figure it out. You need to know if it's gas, heat, or oil. You got to figure out the water and sewer bills. You need to know how much they pay insurance. You need to figure out if the property is brick or frame. They have a backyard, they don't have a backyard, lot size and whatnot. Specializing in 2 to 4 families, you can make plenty of money because you can also target investors as much as you can target users. So that's the 2 to 4 families in the residential side of the business. We also have townhouses. You have single-family townhouses and you have condo townhouses. All right, and we also have single-family homes. Single-family homes is obviously more residential for users to buy and live in. Very few investors would buy them for an investment, but you're going to come across here and there, investors that are looking for single families to buy and flip. Okay, so the same goes, 2 to 4 family. You need to do the research, same as single families. You need to know the lot size. You need to know the taxes, insurance, what kind of heating system, and whatnot. In the listing presentation bootcamp, you can ask more questions regarding property types. We'll talk more about those, residential side of the business. And there's also land, residential land, if it's zoned residential. You can sell a land to a builder to build a house, or you can sell land to somebody who wants to build his own house. It doesn't have to be an investor builder. Right? So these are the different property types. There's also obviously rentals. Rentals can fall under any of those categories. You can rent an empty lot. You can rent a condo, you can rent a co-op, you can rent, 2 to 4 families. Now, in addition to that, we have commercial properties, apartment buildings, for an example, which is a building with apartments, 5+ units. And then you have mixed-use properties. Normally, it's a store and a couple of apartments above. It could be one store and one apartment. It's considered a mixed-use property. So that's called mixed-use. Mixed-use is anything that has a store and a residential, commercial-residential combination. Can also be an office building that has residential in it. So on the commercial side, you also have office buildings, and you also have retail shops, shopping centers, and the combination of all the above. There is also land development. In particularly land development, you'll be working with developers that want to buy land and develop a condominium, or they want to buy land and build apartment buildings or strip malls and whatnot. All right, so that's on the commercial side of it. There's also commercial leasing that you can make a lot of money with. We don't specialize in that, but if you wish to know more about the commercial side, come to our Investors Bootcamp and we'll talk more about that.